Hello, dear friends. This is Luce Fleury Levi, founder of Universal Grace Film Feminine Foundation. My greatest wish for you is to be well in spite of the current situation. I'd like to talk to you today about exiting the trap of duality by choosing grace. I would like first to explain why I have created this intention / prayer group on Twitter every Sunday, 3 p.m. UK time for 1 hour, inviting all to attend in unity of intention / prayer. Atheist, spiritual, religious, all are welcome. All genuine people of good will, good intent, because this is precisely very, very important in this crisis situation, to uphold a positive, loving heart energy intention for humanity. Dr. Masaru Emoto has demonstrated that intention is very, very powerful through experiments on water, as when sending good thoughts, good intention to the water, we can see beautiful patterns unfolding. But when we send negative, hateful thoughts, it's all getting distorted and destructive. I am explaining this thing for people who are not spiritual, who are atheists, or who are, people of goodwill, good people, with idealistic people, but who do not have any spiritual belief. Obviously, spiritual people know about the power of intention in the spiritual world. Many scientists nowadays, like Greg Braden, for instance, have explained how scientifically we are connected with our heart energy, and how we can explain spiritual phenomenon through science at times. There is an intersection through a heart energy design. We can meet between the spiritual and the physical world, because our physical world was created with universal physical laws, which are in correspondence with spiritual laws. Our universe is all about harmony and balance, and without these spiritual laws, natural laws, corresponding to spiritual laws, we would be in a total chaos. And this is precisely partly the subject, unfortunately, of this video. We have a good analyst of what's going on at the moment in our world, and I often quote or retweet David Icke, who I think has, I don't know him personally, I just want to say that I am a spiritual person. I'm not about politics or anything like that, but I am a spiritual person who has been involved with humanitarian work all my life, so I'm very concerned, obviously, with the reality of this world, as I believe precisely there is a correspondence between the spiritual world and the physical world where we live, and I consider it my duty as a spiritual person to precisely um, help people in need. And I focused in helping the most rejected since I was young, okay, very young, biologically, since we are forever young, obviously, spiritually. What I want to say is that we can notice very, very clearly nowadays that we live in a world of duality. It has always been like that. Uh, we, in this world where we are, on this planet, we can see a duality between evil and good, and it shows us we are in this place to choose our eternal spiritual destination. Very sadly, there are some groups following, obeying dark entities who have an agenda, and this agenda is a hateful agenda because they are possessed by dark entities who hate humanity, and hate, obviously, source divine, because I believe there is a creator, a loving creator. So these people have been during centuries trying each time to destroy humanity and to enslave humanity. You just have to go back to your history books and you will find them everywhere, okay? Uh, Not so long ago we had two world wars where, you know, what happened during the Holocaust, concentration camps, etc. Unfortunately, this depopulation agenda is still on for the eugenic group, who believe that they want to select who is going to live on this planet. They feel entitled to select, to do a selection between people. Obviously, they are going to fail. They already failed because that's another issue I will explain by the end on the spiritual side why. However, now I just want to go very quickly through. I suppose that for many of you is very clearly to see we are like in a trap now in a snare, precisely blocked on under house arrest in our homes, and things according to their plan would only going to get worse for us, as many will keep dying and others will be knowing one of the greatest economical crises with no hope except to be reduced to slavery and to accept a microchip. I made a video why you should not never accept a microchip, to become a toy, a kind of slave of their tyranny through military police state and a technocracy who is here to help them pull the strings of their new puppets, their new toys, which is supposed to be asked, through the transhumanist agenda. Anyhow, it's very, very sad to have such a dark and horrible vision of our world out of selfish cruelty of a minority who thinks that money and power is everything. Very sadly as well, they have been engineering viruses through what one can call the new biological warfare. And the warfare now is not like a war between countries anymore, but it is a war between this dark group in charge who uh, take leadership in the governments against their own population. So it is a very, very dark war. Unfortunately, we have seen that all it's global, okay, because when they went in Syria, Iran, etc., no, not many in the West. Well, I was always saying no wars, please, but not many in the West were bothered, okay? I was bothered and I have demonstrated it. But now it comes to us, okay? And it comes to us in the West, and it's a pity because not many woke up before, Anyhow, so now, in a sense, it might be easier for some of you to realize what is the trap of duality, okay? I had realized um, this trap since a very, very long time when I was very, very young biologically. And I chose to say, no, okay, you've got the Me Too movement of a lot of women who basically cashed a lot of millions by saying, yes, yes, I will, and sold their souls, and now are saying, yes, it's Me Too. But okay, I am happy if they realized what went wrong and that now they want to change and help other victims. But uh, personally, I had to choose when I was younger, biologically, to say no at a cost, and I paid the price, and I didn't make all the millions because I refused to compromise. I refused to sell my soul. So I had seen that there was a trap of duality, and that's the problem in our world. And the way out for me has been in choosing grace. I had a spiritual revelation, and I have accepted to get out, in a sense, to exit this trap of duality. One needs to accept to die to this world of duality. So, if you are at the edge of dying physically, which is leaving your physical body, uh, just accept to choose the grace of infinite love. To me, the spiritual way I chose, which was revealed to me, was Christ. And I have had a personal experience and personal relationship with Christ, who revealed to me that to get out of this duality, I had to die to myself and die to this world of duality, to be able to be born again through a spiritual, loving, um, original reality. We were originally created with love, with infinite love, and we only knew love. We were created beautiful and whole, and which what we could call a higher self. But unfortunately, when we had been incited to accept, to seduced to accept duality, we became trapped in a division between our lower self and our higher self. So we can now have a chance again to reconnect with our higher self as we were originally created, through accepting the free grace for all to go back to reconnect with our higher self through the resurrection of Christ, because Christ had, in a positive way, it is in a sense God, it is source divine, himself, herself, because I believe God, is masculine and feminine, and came to our world because only the essence, the pure essence of Source Divine, infinite love, could accomplish completely the true justice, truth, real truth for us, because we couldn't. We were trapped. We were trapped in this duality. So, accomplishing this positive, in a positive way, the essence of God, He has reopened the way for us to reconnect with our higher self as we were originally created. The essence of Source Divine is infinite, unconditional, universal love and benevolent loving kindness. And we were originally created with such heart design at the image of Source Divine, knowing only bliss and true love, true neutral cosmic justice. To be able to go back to that, we have to exit the trap of duality. And we need then to choose to die to this world of duality by choosing to accept the gracious gift of eternal life in infinite love, true grace. When I speak about death, it's not necessarily about leaving our biological, physical body, but it is what we call in the path, to walk in the path of sanctification, which is to stop feeding the lower self, our addiction, considering our lower self as dead and crucified. That's the image of the cross. To consider that the duality in us is now gone. There is nothing that we can do to save our old self trapped in duality. We need to consider that we need to bury that person we were in the duality, okay? So that the only way out of duality, of the trap, because it's a trap, okay, is to consider ourselves as we were, who we have been in this trap doesn't exist anymore, and stop feeding that person, okay? And accepting instead to receive from the Holy Spirit every day a kind of new birth by receiving the essence of our uh, beautiful infinite love essence, which is the essence of Source Divine. So this is a walk, okay? It's a kind of a beautiful walk. I don't like, as I explained many times, the way some religious experts speak about God punishing, he's always here with a stick, beware, you're going to be beaten up now. No, I think that's extremely sadistic, and it doesn't come from Source Divine. Source Divine with, the essence of love itself. That's what it's the spirit. It's not false god, tyrant, tyrannical, is not a person with human failures and weakness like the Greek Roman gods. So only an essence, a spirit, which is the nature and the essence of infinite love itself, okay? And that essence of love is always the same, whatever we do. It's unconditional. We cannot change that love, that essence of source divine. And this is very often this gracious way, the feminine side, I would say, of source divine that we can see through the Virgin of Light. And Mary, for instance, is one of the archetypes illustrating this side of the feminine grace, nurturing, caring, whatever you do, good or bad, that love is not going to be changed or affected by what we do or who we are, or what even the worst individuals, the dark forces, the dark entities do. They cannot, and it has been proven by the fact that they couldn't kill God. They thought they killed God, but no, death cannot keep life. And that's why the resurrection of Christ is so important, because it is showing us that the nature of love, the essence of true love, divine true love, is eternal. And when we accept to receive this essence in us, we are choosing the gracious path of liberation from the trap of duality, and we will be forever happy and above what circumstances. Now, as long as we are in this world, duality will carry on. Okay, in us we are every day exposed to some mood swings, like everybody else. But we need not to feed that side of us. We need simply to receive grace and to dwell in the beautiful nature of eternal love, infinite love, which is the essence of source divine in us. Okay, that's where we have to dwell. The world around us will carry on being trapped in the tragedy, of duality, and our calling is to help, everybody else to know there is a way out. Okay, so as long as we are here, we need to help. We need to help others to share this bliss, this eternal bliss with us, and that's what I am trying to do. It doesn't mean we have to be indifferent of what's going on in our world. At the contrary, we need to get involved in helping. But we will be more efficient in helping those who are still trapped by exiting the trap ourselves first, okay? And choosing grace that will give us the freedom to help others, because we won't be bothered with our old self anymore, okay? In a sense, as I often explained, I see grace as a third way, which is the only way out of the trap of duality, a liberating path through Christ and Divine Mother. And this is allowing us to look from a distance to the tragedy of this duality, so we can be more efficient helping others. We know that whether we leave our physical body or we stay in our physical body a bit longer, our citizenship is in heaven, and we are belonging to the eternal bliss of infinite love forever. And that's the most important, because we are free. And that's why we can go back to this duality with a distance, helping us to reach out to others and help them find the way out. I am praying for angels to go and stop, because as I explained, this third way is a neutral way. It's a way of infinite and conditional love, so that I remain and we remain neutral, in a sense we still can love even our enemies, even the dark forces, the dark entities, and the people who are sadly possessed or oppressed by such forces to the point that they obey their dark agenda. Like these groups we are talking about who are having this depopulation agenda, etc. So we can still send them light and love, and we can still help, help this world. The reality of this duality at the moment is trapped by this agenda, and politically we are now under a tyranny, a military police state. We have been obviously this tyranny is employing technocrats, as we already explained, and we are under house arrest whilst we are powerless in a sense, seeing many of our friends and family killed basically by biological viruses. And we need to unite to find key solutions. Since there is a constitution, a democratic constitution in the West, in all the countries of the West, and a Declaration of Human Rights. I was referring yesterday on my Twitter account to the Article 13 of the Declaration of Human Rights, which is allowing freedom of movement to each one of us, okay? And I want to plead with, we can see there are suicides in bracket, because we know that many of these suicides are actually murders, because some of these people have a conscience and they decide they don't want to play the game anymore, so they get killed by the others. That's what happens very often, unfortunately. And if you hear that I suicide, no, it can never happen, because I am a non-violent and I don't believe in murder, okay? I will never kill myself or anybody else, because it's not in my philosophy, it's not in my spirituality to do that. So obviously, if somebody tells you I suicide, no, I would have been murdered, okay? Because of what I'm doing now. Trying to help all the ones who are trapped to be set free. I pray for angels to be sent where all these dark groups are. They are fulfilling their agenda. That's why they don't want us there, because they want to have their hands free to fulfill their criminal agenda against humanity. So angels are free to go in these places where we are not allowed. However, this now is turning to the farce, because if they don't want to lose face, they have to stop what they are doing, because it's more and more apparent that the dictature behind is at work. And without consulting, public consultation, a referendum or whatever, the drastic measure they are taking in breach, in violation of the Western laws, constitution and human rights, are not anymore acceptable through their own standards. So I just hope that this is going to soon stop, and that we will go back to, in bracket, the normality of this dual world. But you know that it's not normal. It will never be normal. So that you need to get out of this exercise, in a sense, has helped you to realize what is the true nature of the world we live in. The true nature of this world of duality is a trap, is a hellish trap. I want to plead with the police, the army, because they have pledged to serve us, the people, okay? And they are responsible in front of Source Divine to protect us, to serve us. So I'm sure many among them have a conscience, and also many among them are aware of what's going on, of how the orders they are given are wrong, are following a criminal agenda, an agenda criminal against humanity. So I plead with them to choose to make the right choice and to serve the people as they're pledged in front of God, rather than a minority, a tyrannical minority. I also pray for this tyrannical minority, because amongst them there are people who are trapped from birth. They were born in that type of families. They are trapped themselves. And some of them have been undergoing trauma during their childhood to trap them in a kind of MK Ultra, way of life, through trauma and fear. And they need compassion too. So I pray for them that they will get to find the gracious way, to the third way out, okay? That it's much more difficult for them in a sense. So we need to extend this infinite unconditional love to them. So that's why I'm asking you, whether you are atheist, spiritual, religious, to unite in our intention of love. Because even if you don't believe like me, or whatever your religion, even if you are atheist, when you focus your intention on love, you abide in love. You are part of us. And you are going to be blessed by this love and be a blessing to others, because that's the true nature of Source Divine. Love is an essence of Source Divine. So I am asking you to focus with us your intention. As I explained at the beginning of this video, it has been scientifically proven that our intention have consequences and are very powerful. So please, let us invite love and light together, and let us together win over this crisis, so that people are not going to be murdered as they are. They are murdered right now by criminals against humanity. And you want to stop this agenda, whatever your belief. Thank you, and I send you all a lot of love.